Hello friends, thanks for watching. I want to talk about something important to me. My video about where I compare Cambodia to Thailand and vice versa. And I lay out the points as I see them. It was a very popular video on YouTube, but it got thousands and thousands of views on TikTok, something like 200,000. And many happy Thai people, of course, supporting me because I did predominantly say how wonderful Thailand is, because it is, and how advanced it is, how developed it is, because it is. And why am I going to not speak the truth about that? But I also do dive into the reality about Cambodia and its situation there, being that it's not developed, and it is very much a third world country. But not just that, it has a lot of problems, and I list them in the video, so you have to watch that video, please, to understand it first. It is I will put it in the description, but it got a lot of criticism from Cambodian people, understandably. I wouldn't expect it any other way, but they did not really get to the bottom of what I was saying. I wasn't really criticizing Cambodia as such, that it's a terrible country. No, I love Cambodia. I love the Cambodian people. I just don't like the regime. And then above all, I got many reasons for that, by the way, what I just said. Above all, I don't like what they did to me. What they purposely did to me, maliciously. It caused me a massive, it's a criminal act, basically. Massive problem, which I'll get into in a minute. And also what I've since found out they've been doing to other people, both from the West and from Cambodia, such as locking people away in rotting cells out of hell for months on end for no reason, particularly when it comes to Western people. And there is no recourse for those poor sods who get into that problem in the first place. Now, there's one particular guy all over TikTok at the moment and the internet in general called Ian McIntyre, I believe is his surname, not quite sure, but he is on crime.tv on TikTok channel. You can watch this, about 12 or 14 episodes where he explains his ordeal and what he went through for 9 months in jail without even being charged, and then he was forced to stay another 3 before they gave him his passport back, and then they tried to extort him for the extra money again because he overstayed his visa because they locked him up in prison. That's the beginning. Right. Get on to the rest of the story in a second, in the second part of this video. Moving on, in my favorite spot in the park in Pattaya, where I made the last video about Cambodia and Thailand, comparing Cambodia to Thailand, which is, as some people pointed out, not really possible because they're so vastly different, and well, different in the sense that Thailand is highly developed and Cambodia is not, and Thailand is safe, which brings me on to Cambodia not being safe. Now, the third part of this video after this second part is where I speak about what happened to me there and why I now criticize Cambodia, which says in the title the reason why, about the passport issue, because they falsely and purposely targeted me. But we'll get there, and reported my passport gone. Get there in a minute. So, safety first, as they say. Yes, well, now listen to me. This is an important one because after living there for 3 years, I didn't really ever speak about what happened to me online in Cambodia, okay? Because I didn't want to tarnish the reputation. So that's why I didn't do it, Cambodian people. Okay, so, but I will say it now because it needs to be said. Is Cambodia safe? No, it's not. Now, why is that? Okay, it's petty theft, mostly, but also some serious crime goes on there. I'll get to that. I'll try to make this as quickly as possible, as fast as possible, because there's a lot to say. But anyway, I'll touch on the most important things. In the 3 years I was there, I had 4 iPhones stolen. 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4. Okay, the first one was nabbed on the second day I was in Phnom Penh. As I was leaving an ABA ATM, I came up from the ATM to go to the street to get a tuk-tuk, which I ordered on the app. Tuk-tuk was coming in 50 meters, 100 meters. I'm looking left because it's right-hand drive. Brand new iPhone 13. Looking at the app, next thing I know, boom, scooter goes by with 2 guys on it. One on the back snatches my phone and off they go. I start sprinting after them. It was 12 o'clock Sunday. Security guards didn't move a muscle. There were like 20 of them standing around. Nothing. I ran after them with my bad leg. Phone gone. Okay, phone number 1, gone. Number 2, I'll make this short. Number 2 was snatched in a bar area where I put the phone down on the bar, and I was sitting right there. I turned to the left where I spoke to a friend who was with me, and I turned back to look at the bar where my drink was, and my phone was gone. About 6 p.m. in the evening. Didn't even see it happen, didn't see who did it, how that was even possible, okay? So yes, not very good. The third one was stolen in a tuk-tuk. It was raining, I couldn't use the app, so I just jumped in a tuk-tuk, took me home, 500 meters, totally tried to overcharge me 4 or 5 times the amount. I said no. I handed him more than it would usually cost with the Pass app and or Grab, and then he took the money, and at the same time he took my phone out of my hands, gone. Okay? Number three. Where did number 3 happen again? Oh yeah, on the street. I was walking on the street, broad daylight, down the riverside, focusing on myself, had music on. Don't put music in my ears anymore after that incident. And the next thing I know, I'm filling my pockets. Wait a minute, my phone's gone. Yeah, so I wear loose shorts, you know. So my phone got nabbed out of my pocket in broad daylight. That wasn't very nice. So, and the fourth one, where did that get nicked again? Oh yeah, that got nicked when someone broke into my apartment. I haven't spoken about this story to pretty much anyone because it's kind of embarrassing for me. I was living in an apartment on the third floor, walk up in Phnom Penh, right by the riverside, for 2 or 3 months until this incident. Then I got out, and my door got broken in, the padlock got cut, and they came in and nicked a laptop and my phone. Not very nice. Yeah. So that's the safety issue for you there in Cambodia. Now, those are just minor crimes that happen to me, petty theft, whatever you want to call it, but they're pretty severe because you lose all kinds of shit and money, and it's just horribly stressful and so on. And then, of course, the situation there with the hit and runs is an absolute disgrace. So many people, kids, predominantly get killed on the streets because drunk drivers, mostly Cambodians, I have to say, actually 99% Cambodian, maybe 100, hit these people who are usually poor, walking, because they walk on the wrong side in Cambodia. They walk with their back to the traffic. They're told to walk on the right side of the street when the traffic is moving towards them from behind. That's completely wrong. You should walk on the opposite side so you can see the traffic, guys. I don't know why they don't teach that in school, but they don't. Anyway, I saw an incident where 6 people got mowed over. They were between 14 and 16 years old, boys and girls, killed right there and then. A mother and a child of, I think, 4 to 12 got killed outside of school when a drunk driver mowed them down on the sidewalk. There was a sidewalk apparently, and that's the other thing, they had no sidewalks in 90% of Phnom Penh. So yeah, there's about, I don't know, 200-300 hit and run with deaths every year in Phnom Penh. Is that safe? Not just Phnom Penh. No, it's not. It's terribly unsafe. And of course, there are murders there too, but there are plenty of murders. There's murders in every country. That's nothing unusual. But what is unusual is the amount of thieving that goes on, you know, that passports, wallets, phones. I mean, I was in the phone shop when a British lady came in, a passport got nicked because they stole her handbag off her shoulder with her boyfriend. His phone got stolen, her handbag got stolen with the phone inside, with her passport. Can you imagine the ordeal, the hassle? It's just so not fair. And then another time I was in the phone shop getting another phone, another English guy, phone gone. It's like me. I mean, they're probably nicking about 1,000 a day. There's a huge business there, and the police do what do they do about it? Nothing. I had money stolen from my bank account. Okay, how did they do that? Well, I'll tell you. I stupidly left my phone behind a counter in a restaurant. So it wasn't a very particularly good restaurant, just somewhere where I ate something for half an hour to charge because it was running out. The battery was buggered. So next thing I know, believe it or not, because I didn't know this could happen, but my phone was cloned. And I then got told that it was cloned because I was stupid enough to, well, I had my ABA scan on the phone, of course, and in my Apple Notes was my passcode to the ABA account. So as they were enabled to clone the phone, they hopped into my notes, got the password, opened the app, and they then took 8 transfers out, which amounted to something like $4,500 US. Until I noticed 5 days later, because I wasn't looking at the balance, which was a big mistake. So the app thing is a very bad idea, by the way. Do not use the app. It's completely unsafe. I never use it anymore. I don't use that bank anymore. I use a British bank, completely covered, safe. Yeah, so there you go. That's that story. Is that pretty? Is that nice? Is that funny? Well, that's the reason I have a problem with Cambodia. That's why I criticize it now. Because again, I went to the cyber police. I went there 3 times over 3 to 5 months period. I begged and begged and begged. I reported. I complained. I went to the bank multiple times. I filed a complaint with them. They said, oh, we have to wait for the police to come back. The police will come back and the police will investigate. The police will go to, they had the person's name and bank account number. They know where it went to, but the police were required to go to that person's house, arrest them, question them, and then detain them, and then force them to give the money back or not, go to jail. But did any of that happen? No, it didn't. Nothing happened. They got away, and I got robbed. So, is Cambodia safe? No. And that's why I have a problem with it, and that's why I criticize it, and that's why I put out the truth, dear friends. And now again, I reiterate, I love Cambodian people. I love Cambodia as a country. I just don't like what goes on there and what happens and how the police deal with things, how they treat people, like the Australian guy, for God's sake, God bless him. He almost died in jail, you know, and you think that's cool? No, it's not. And me getting robbed there despite promoting the country like crazy. Now let's go on to stage 3. Okay? Let's pause. Moving on. Part 3 of the video. Why I ended up fucked. Okay? Well, I was there for just about 3 years, almost. I think pretty much close, bang on. And I had about 3 weeks left on my visa before I had to renew it again. I thought to myself, wait a minute, maybe I don't want to do that now. Before I renew the visa, why don't I do a trip to somewhere else? The Philippines, okay. Never been to the Philippines before, so I decided to go. Okay, as I had to go out and come back anyway, which I planned to do 2 months later. So then I booked my ticket to Manila, went to the airport, all went dandy, checked in, go through immigration control, the exit point in Phnom Penh airport. The lady was very friendly. She took my fingerprint scan and my passport was checked on the computer. She smiled at me and I said, oh, are you going on vacation, Mr. Hourmont? I said, that's a strange question. Why would she ask me that? No one's ever asked me that before. And I said to her, well, actually, not really. I'm going to make some content in Philippines and I'll come back to my lovely favorite country, Cambodia, where I live. So, oh, okay, great. Thank you. We love you. Thank you for all your effort. She actually said, because she knew me from social media, from YouTube and TikTok. Thanks for your effort and so on. Anyway, point is, I then went to Manila, put my passport on the immigration counter. They scanned it. They said, I said, what's going on? There's a red flag. It's a red notice. Interpol red notice on your passport, sir. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I was shaking at this point. Oh, your passport has been declared lost or stolen. I'm like, what? It's right here, my passport in my hand, and I'm here, look. How can it be stolen? It's here with me. Okay? Nope. It's reported with Interpol lost and stolen. Your passport is no longer valid. You cannot enter the country. Right, now that Interpol pop-up, wherever you go in the world, it'll pop up in every single computer system worldwide, okay? Because it's connected, all of them. It's not just, it's every single one worldwide. So, and the passport was reported lost and stolen on the 7th of January. I left the country on the 21st. So over 2 weeks later. So that the immigration exit lady at that point in Phnom Penh airport would have absolutely seen the red notice and should have said to me, dear Mr. Hourmont, your passport is apparently not valid. You should not leave because you can't travel, actually. We can't let you leave, which would have meant I could have gone to the British Embassy or consulate and then had my emergency passport issued, with which I could have then applied for a new passport in London, which could have been sent to Phnom Penh. No. Not so easy. Not so easy. Don't do it that way. Don't make it easy for Roberto. No. So they let me leave and trapped me in Manila. And there I was not let into the country. I was detained, arrested for about 6 hours. Worst conditions ever. Lying on the floor after no sleep in the plane from Phnom Penh. No food, almost no water, until I finally managed to, get a plane out or convince them to let me go. They said I have to leave or they'll just detain me and they'll keep me for however long they want to in the airport until they send me back. Could be 3 months. Is what my British Embassy told me, because I spoke to them. And I called the Home Office too in London and they told me, yep, the passport is cancelled, because they told us to cancel it because it was lost and stolen. Like, okay, great, well done, British Home Office. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for not contacting me. Thank you very much for not checking with me whether I have it or not. And that was that. Disaster from them too. Okay, now I still have not been officially told by anyone who did it, because whoever reports your passport lost and stolen, let's say I find your passport on the street, I have to take it to the police station. The police would most likely then, if they're sensible, I think 99.9% would, call the embassy and send it to the relevant embassy, and that would be that. Then the embassy would decide what to do with it. They wouldn't just cancel it. You know? So but if somebody were to cancel it for some reason, because they thought, okay, better cancel it than have it, floating around, which is stupid, they could just drop it with the police and let them handle it, they would have to leave their name. an address, everything, and their passport identification, of course. But in my case, no, when I was then in the London passport office, they said to me, no, there's no, I said, do you normally see who cancels the passport? Yes, we see exactly who did it. But in my case, no, there was no reference to who did it. It was blank. So it was hidden. They tried to hide it. They tried to make it anonymous, which tells me the only people that could have done it, because the only people who had access to my passport information, because of the immigration people in Cambodia, Phnom Penh, because they had all my passport information, of course, because of the visa. Entry stamp and visa renewal all the time. Understand? So that's a fact. And the fact that it is not showing up in any system also reiterates that thinking, because they did a dirty on me. So as they are immigration, they can just report it, fast track it, rather than going to the police, because they are the police really. They just report it directly to Interpol. Interpol then reports it to the British Home Office. The Home Office cancels it, and that's that. Interpol sends out the alert worldwide that this passport is reported lost and stolen, so if anyone is found traveling with it, they are stopped. Fair enough, but in this case, I had my passport. So that's the problem, my friends, and that is why I have a big problem with Cambodia now. I'm not happy with my country either, because they did what they did to me. They should have absolutely contacted me, because they have my contact information. They've had it for years. I've had the same email address for 15 years. But they didn't. They said, oh, well, they had your information, so it's okay, we cancelled it. They had the correct information. So, okay, no problem. So I had to fly to London and stay for 2 weeks. Took 2 weeks to get the frigging passport back, because they're so disorganized at the Home Office, the passport office. And it cost me around $7,000, something like that. But the flights, the hotels, the food, and so on, it's so bloody expensive, right? So that wasn't funny. It wasn't. So that's why I criticize Cambodia today. Okay? I hope that's clear. I hope that makes people realize why I have a problem. It's not just what happened with the passports, the horrible, horrible thing that they did to me there, despite me being a huge supporter and fan of Cambodia for so many years, openly promoting Cambodia like crazy, like really, really heavily, which I was hugely thanked for by the Cambodian people. Thousands of people knew me in Cambodia. I said, thank you so much for your help. Thank you so much, sir. You know, and then they do that to me. So, but as I said, it's not just that. It's also what happened to me with the thieving, the break-in, and also what I saw on the streets. You know, the senseless killing by drunk drivers, and that the police do nothing about anything with people who have money. They just target the poor, and then people are extorted, like the Australian guy. He was squeezed and extorted. The whole thing cost him $130,000 US. His whole amount. That's what he got from his mother's inheritance, which just recently died, and he has a young kid, separated, and he had to then. His former partner had to send him all the money over, step by step, to the Australian embassy, which then brought cash to him to pay the police. So he lost all that money over the 9 months in the most disgustingly dirty, downright outrageous prison, like 50 years ago type style, like Khmer Rouge type style, honestly. They left him out, he was gang raped, he was beaten up, horrible things happened. Just go find it on TikTok, it's easy to find. Ian McIntyre, locked up in Cambodia for 9 months, something like that. You'll find it. Yeah, so that's what I have a problem with. And then, you know, all the other things. It's just so below average, below standard. It is below standard, I'm sorry to say, but I still love it. I love it. I just wish that they would see things differently and change. But they can't, as long as that government is in power, which it has been for 35 years now, because we know it's corrupt, and it's a dictatorship, and they don't let anyone else compete anyway. They just lock them up. They don't lock up any opposition. Opposition people are under house arrest now, and another one got shot in Bangkok in January this year, killed. So that's not nice. Yeah, so that's the truth. And whether this gets me into trouble or not, I don't care. I do not care. I just want the truth to get out there, and that's why I'm saying these things. Is that clear? Peace out. Still love Cambodia. Love Cambodian people. Whether I go there or not is up for debate. I may test the waters. I may go there. Actually. I may go and see if they let me in or not. I don't think they can arrest me with what I've said. And if they do, then they have a big problem on their hands. But the reason not to go is because they would then have my new passport information on file, which could then lead them to cancelling that again and have me sent back again. So I'm not going to take that risk. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.